Super credits are the most important currency in Helldivers 2. More than 75% of in-game items require super credits. That's more than 50 weapons, 30 armors, 11 boosters, and nearly 100 cosmetics like player cards, emotes, and skins. So it's not dramatic to say, without super credits, you're not getting the full experience. So how do you farm them, and how do you get enough of them so you don't have to spend a single cent? Most guides will tell you to pick a planet, hop into any difficulty up to level 3, and run around a bit until you find super credits. And although that's not bad advice, we can do a little bit better than that. This video is broken up into 3 parts. We'll go over the most efficient method to farm super credits, why this method works, and the tips and tricks and a map glitch to help you locate super credits even faster. So here's the upfront answer. For maximum super credits, pick level 1 difficulty, drop into one of these 3 planet types, desert cliffs, desert dunes, scorched moor, and bring this loadout. Warp pack, the fast recon vehicle, and a laser cannon. If you don't have warp pack, jetpack works as well, and if you don't have either, bring a supply pack. And if you don't have a laser cannon, an anti-material rifle works here too. Now you're thinking, cool story bro, how do you know that? Over the past month, I've spent over 100 hours across 120 solo missions farming super credits. I've tested 15 planets, encountered over 900 points of interest, or POIs, and played on 3 different difficulties. So let's get into the data and prove why this method works, and start with why you should always farm on level 1 difficulty. Here are mission map snapshots from Acer Pass, a planet on the Automaton front. On the left is level 1 difficulty, level 2 is in the middle, and level 3 is on the right. By using the provided map scale and splitting the map into squares and triangles, I estimated the size of each map. And intuitively, you'd think that bigger maps mean more POIs, which mean more super credits, right? Sort of. The number of POIs did increase with difficulty, but the frequency of super credits stayed the same. Here are my results after 10 runs on each difficulty. Level 1s actually gave me the same amount of super credits compared to level 2s and 3s, but level 1s took less time to complete. It took me about 6 minutes to finish level 1, 8 minutes for level 2, and 10 minutes for level 3. And that makes sense. Higher difficulties meant longer run times because of bigger maps and more frequent enemy patrols. So there's a greater chance on higher difficulties to get slowed down or to die. Sure, on level 2s and 3s, there are LiDAR station spawns, which reveal all POI locations, but the corresponding increase of bases and patrols just isn't worth it. Here is a rough estimate of super credits per hour by difficulty on Acer Pass. Always go level 1s because you can get the same amount of super credits in the least amount of time. Okay. So now that we know to pick level 1s, which planets should we farm on? With over 200 planets in game, it wasn't feasible to test each one, so the easiest way is to test by biome. Each planet has a biome that determines the planet's layout and its environmental conditions. We have desert biomes, jungle biomes, even some swamp biomes. If you hover over the planet in the galactic map, you can see its biome type based on the pop-up picture. In total, there are currently 17 biomes in-game. To find the best one, I used the same method I did to test difficulty levels. I dropped into each biome 5 times and recorded the amount of time it took me to find all the POIs and the number of super credits I found. And here are the results. Desert Dune, Scorched Moor, and Desert Cliffs are the top 3 biomes. You can average around 400 credits per hour in these planet types. At the lower end are jungle and swamp biomes, where you can only average around 200 credits per hour. These planets are not worth your time. They're hard to navigate and take up too much stamina to traverse. For those of you who are counting, I do want to admit here that I wasn't able to test out every single biome. I'm missing 2 of them. Since the galactic map is always shifting, I wasn't able to find any active planets that had the volcanic jungle or plains biome in the past month. When these planets are available, I'll update the video, but for now, definitely target these 3 planet biomes. Okay, so the last thing to cover is loadout. When you're farming, your number 1 enemy is your stamina bar, so bring light armor. If you're a beginner, any light armor works. If you're a more intermediate player, I like medic armor because of its extra stims, It's a great insurance policy if you ever get injured or need an extra stamina boost. For boosters, always bring stamina. You won't be fighting anything on level 1s, so you don't need more health or extra supplies. Plus, if you're just solo farming, you can call in a resupply anytime you want. I usually call one in right as I load onto the map. For your backpack slot, always bring a warp pack, especially if you're farming alone. Of all the points of interest I visited, only 3 contain super credits: cargo containers, bunkers, and rescue pods. Bunkers are special because you need 2 people to open them. With warp pack, you don't have that issue. Crouch, go all the way up to the door, and warp in. And do the same thing to get out. Out of all the super credits I've collected, super credits inside bunkers make up around 31% of the total. Without a warp pack, you'd either have to wait for someone to join your squad or take a hit on how many credits you can farm per hour. Jetpack and supply pack work here as well. Jetpack works because you can fly around and ignore all the patrols. And supply pack is great because you can constantly stim yourself to keep your stamina up. But really, if you have a warp pack, I wouldn't leave your super destroyer without it. For heavy weapons, laser cannon and AMR are my favorite picks because they can open up cargo containers without setting the ground on fire. Grenades have a chance of blowing up these red canisters and setting everything on fire, which will slow you down during farming. Strafing run is also a really good pick here because it cleans out patrols instantly and it has a very short cooldown and a high usage count. If you ever see a patrol coming your way and you're too lazy to deal with them, just chuck a strafing run at them and call it a day. This is also a really good time to test out stratagems that you've always wanted to use. Bring some weird stuff like mines or EMS strike or a Tesla tower. Have fun with it and just see how these uncommon stratagems interact with the environment or with patrols. Okay, on to the tips and tricks. Here's a really busted map glitch that's still working as of August 31st, 2025, and it'll help you instantly uncover all the POIs on the planet. First, jump into a level 1 mission and try to visit all the POIs you can. Once you're done, head back to your ship, quit out of the mission, and travel to a different planet. I usually go outside the system. So originally I was on the automaton front, now I'm going to the terminid front. As long as you arrive, that's all you need. You don't even have to dive in. So here I'm loading back in. I'm going back to my original planet on the automaton front. Again, pick any mission you want. It doesn't really matter. And once you travel back, another loading screen. We wait a little bit. And now dive into a level 1 mission. Open up your map and drag your cursor around. And look at that. Every POI shows up for you. Now you don't have to waste time running around blindly. You know exactly where everything is. After you finish collecting all the loot, just return to your ship. You can stay on this planet, just hop into another mission and repeat, and the glitch should stay, as long as you don't completely quit out of the game. This bug will get patched one day, so in terms of farming, always venture out. From the 100 plus maps I've seen, there's never been a point of interest that was within 120 meters of either the objective or the extraction point. Don't waste time checking around these points. Points of interest are usually further out in the map, around the map corners or edges. I want to end here by saying, don't take this guide too seriously. I'm being so for real right now, guys. 2100 super credits costs $19.99. At best, if you solo farm for super credits, you can get around 500 credits per hour max, and that's if you're lucky. If we convert that to dollars per hour, that's around $5 an hour grinding the game. Is this method the most efficient way to farm super credits? No. The most efficient way is to crack open your wallet. And honestly, it makes sense and is by design. Live service games require live service microtransactions. And Arrowhead isn't going to make super credits super prevalent or easy to obtain. So treat super credit farming like a palate cleanser between your missions. Hop in, hop out, do a few runs, and admire the scenery. Don't take this too seriously. I was serious enough for all of us. The purpose of this guide is more so that your time isn't completely wasted if you choose to farm. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your favorite farming method is, if you have any secret tips or tricks, and I'll catch you in the next one.